Everyone laughed when he bought that car. Rusted, broken, barely running, it looked like nothing more than scrap. She laughed the loudest. "That thing isn't worth $100, she said. But he didn't argue. He didn't explain. He just smiled and drove it away. 5 days later, the same car became the center of attention in a way no one could have imagined. Cameras, crowds, and one unexpected visitor, a racing legend. And when that legend offered $5 million for the very car she mocked, the entire world stopped. Stay till the end, because the real reason behind that car's value will change how you see everything. The car lot sat on the edge of the city, filled with vehicles in different conditions, some polished and ready, others forgotten and waiting for someone to see their worth. For Daniel, it wasn't just a place to buy a car. It was a place where hope sometimes came at a lower price. As a single father, his life revolved around one thing, his young son, Leo. Every decision he made was for him, every sacrifice carried quietly without complaint. Money was tight, and choices were limited. That day, he walked through the lot with a purpose, even if others couldn't understand it. While customers looked at newer models, Daniel stopped in front of something different. A small, old car sat in the corner, covered in dust, its paint faded, its condition far from ideal. To most people, it wasn't worth a second glance. But Daniel looked at it differently. He didn't see what it was, he saw what it could be. "You're not serious about that one, right?" a voice interrupted. It was Maya, someone known for her confidence and sharp opinions. She had come to the lot for something entirely different, but Daniel's choice caught her attention. "That car barely runs," she added with a slight laugh. "You'd be better off walking." People nearby heard the exchange, some smiling quietly, others watching with curiosity. Daniel didn't react the way she expected. He didn't defend himself. He didn't argue. He simply looked at the car again, then back at her. "It's enough," he said calmly. The answer didn't satisfy her. If anything, it made the situation more amusing. $100 wasted, she replied, shaking her head. But Daniel completed the purchase without hesitation. To him, it wasn't about impressing anyone. It was about something personal, something tied to a past he rarely spoke about. When he drove the car away, it didn't look impressive. It didn't sound smooth. But there was something steady in the way he handled it, something confident that didn't match its condition. At home, Leo watched with excitement. To him, it wasn't an old car, it was something new, something special, something his father chose. And that was enough. Over the next few days, Daniel worked on it whenever he could. Not as a professional mechanic, but as someone who understood more than he let others see. He cleaned it carefully, adjusted parts quietly, and spent time studying details most people would ignore. It wasn't about fixing it completely. It was about understanding it. Because this car wasn't just any car. And soon, the world was about to find out why. 5 days later, the same car that once sat unnoticed became the center of attention. It started quietly, someone recognized something unusual about it. A detail. A design. Something that didn't match the assumption that it was just an ordinary, broken vehicle. Word spread quickly. What looked like nothing might actually be something rare. By the time people began to gather, curiosity had turned into interest. And then, something even more unexpected happened. A well-known figure arrived, someone whose name carried respect in the world of racing. He didn't come for attention. He came with purpose. When he saw the car, his reaction was immediate. Not surprise, but recognition. He walked around it slowly, observing every detail, his focus sharp and certain. "Where did you find this?" he asked. Daniel stood calmly, his expression unchanged. "Just a car," he replied. But the man shook his head. "No," he said. "Not just a car." What followed changed everything. The racing legend explained what others couldn't see, that this vehicle was part of a rare, nearly forgotten history. Modified in a way that made it unique. Built with a level of craftsmanship that had been lost over time. Hidden beneath its worn exterior was something valuable. Something extraordinary. The crowd listened in disbelief. The same people who had ignored it, now looked at it differently. And then came the moment no one expected. "I'll buy it," the men said. 5 million. The words echoed through the crowd, leaving silence behind them. Maya, who had mocked Daniel just days before, stood frozen, unable to process what she was hearing. The car she had laughed at was now worth more than she could have imagined. All eyes turned to Daniel. He could have accepted immediately. He could have taken the money and changed his life overnight. But he didn't respond right away. Instead, he looked at Leo, who stood nearby, watching everything unfold with wide eyes. There was a quiet moment between them, one that didn't need words. Because for Daniel, this was never just about money. It was about belief. About seeing value where others didn't. About trusting something deeper than appearances. Finally, he spoke. Not loudly, not dramatically, but with clarity. "It was never just about the car," he said. And in that moment, people understood something they hadn't before. Value isn't always visible. Worth isn't always obvious. And sometimes, the things people laugh at are the very things that hold the greatest meaning. Maya stepped forward slowly, her earlier confidence replaced with something else, reflection. She didn't apologize with words. She didn't need to. Because the lesson was already clear. Daniel didn't prove anything to them. He didn't need to. He simply stayed true to what he believed, even when no one else understood. And sometimes, that's all it takes. Because in the end, it's not about how something looks, it's about what it truly is. And not everyone can see that. But those who do, change everything.